Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. Its agenda, date, time, and location were properly announced. Thank you, everyone that came out tonight and those that are online. We will start off with the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of August 17th, 2020?
I'll make a motion.
Amy, is there a second?
A second.
Rini, any corrections, questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I just have a question. Is Brian online?
Ryan, can you hear us? Ryan, I thought you were there.
Curious as to who's here.
I got you.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so Brian is here. Okay. All right, then we will move on to the payment of the bills. Is there a motion to approve, let's see, the amount of $728,447.08 for the month of August?
So moved.
Chuck, is there a second?
I'll second.
Matt, any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And the cash summary?
Yeah, actually one of the things I wanted to highlight for you on this is you can see the solar rooftop rental for $2,905. That's actually for whatever reason we got a payment August 1st and August 31st. So we're getting a little over $1,400 a month just for letting them use our roofs. Other than that, I didn't have any questions from anyone on this, but just wanted to highlight that revenue source.
Okay, donations?
Couple things for donations. First of all, you know, we have a rich tradition, donors choose. It'd be kind of cool to see per teacher how much we bring, because we have our staff do a fantastic job. So Miss Shuffjin's room got some materials for a kind of I wouldn't say it's a reading center, but just a kind of things that you can do, get the little guys there playing with. So it's just kind of a material center, just you know, trying to have things for kids to play with in the classroom. We're very thankful for the Camel project. They're out of the Plymouth area. They sewn up over 200 or right around 200 child size face masks, because we know that the kiddos in kindergarten, first grade can't wear the same ones I'm wearing, but in a lot of times they're very similar size. And also the Random Lake Area Interfaith Food Pantry gave us $650 for masks. So just the community helping make sure that this is as smoothly run as possible.
Great. Any questions? Okay. Comments from the public. Tonight we have two. Amy Woolers, who is in person here, and Kathy Beakler, which is email, and they're both regarding masks. So we'll start with you, Amy. It's great to see you.
Good to see everyone here. I don't know if the state mask mandate is going to be extended or not this weekend. Nobody knows. But if it's not, I am here to ask that you continue the mask order for our district's staff and students. You may believe that this is all a hoax perpetuated by political parties. You may believe that the doctors are all wrong, but what if they're not? So let's do the what if. What if we drop the masks? What if teachers get sick? What if the students with compromised immune systems get sick? What if the one of many pregnant teachers that we have in our district at this time gets sick? This virus is so unknown that we don't know what's going to happen to those babies. What if we go virtual again, and we all know that it's best for children to be here? So, what if? Right now, it is so uncomfortable to wear these masks. It is. I know it, the kids know it, it really is. It's hot, it's hard to hear through them, it's, in general, just a pain in the butt. I am willing to suffer. I'm willing to be uncomfortable if that means that our students are safe, that means our staff is safe. Can't think of any better way to love my neighbor. So I know you are all facing a really difficult decision if that comes down the pike, and believe me, I do not envy your position. You could literally be making a life or death decision for people. I don't envy that. I don't envy the backlash that you could receive either way you go. But I am asking for you to follow the science, and please keep our friends and our family, because that's what we all are here, safe.
Thank you.
I do have one from Mrs. Beakler. She is helping us by doing reffing and everything else, so she's one of our volleyball refs, so she couldn't be here tonight. But she asked that we read this, and what she asked us to read is, I know that the statewide mask mandate ends on the 28th. However, I would like to strongly encourage the board to continue the mask requirement for the school district of Random Lake. I am by no means speaking for every teacher, but I do feel that we have been safe and open due to all the precautions that we have been taking, including wearing the masks. Thank you.
Great. All right, we will move on to building reports. And I'm gonna get it right this month. It's a team effort, that's what I know.
Team effort, there we go. Okay, we're gonna use my speakers, and if you're ready, unmute and go ahead.
All right, I'm going to start with our strong classrooms, with the exception of one little bit that Susan gets to play with. We had a very strong start to the school year. I cannot commend the teachers and the kids, everybody, because it was a very smooth startup, to the point where Mr. Trimberger called on my way home from the first day of school, because we didn't get a chance to see each other, and asked me how the day had gone, and I said it is the most normal I have felt since March. So congratulations to everybody on all the planning, all the time, all the effort. It has really been nice to have the kids back in the building. Our teachers continue to refine and balance what teaching in a blend ed environment looks like. It's more challenging in some areas than others, but with the background knowledge that our teachers had, the coursework that they did over the summer, we are truly in a place where we are fine-tuning. So, it may not be perfect for everybody in every situation, but we're taking our feedback and we are moving forward with this in a very positive manner. Just like any other school year, our fall screening and diagnostics are on the way. And Susan, you get the last bullet.
So the rankings just came out from U.S. News and World Report, and Random Lake High School was ranked 3rd in our area as one of the best high schools in the state of Wisconsin. So that's really a testament to the high school staff. They are an amazing and phenomenal group of teachers and well deserving of this ranking. So I really applaud all the hard work that they have done the last school year and beyond. So well done to the staff. Strong school culture. So as Sandy was talking about, we really have had a really great start to the school year. The first week included lots of team building activities that you could see at all levels, where I saw at the high school, classes were going outside, they were doing getting to know you kind of activities, relationship building activities. The middle school, the elementary, doing all sorts of just great team building activities outside. I think we had more classes occurring outside that first week of school than we did the second week, which was good since the second week it was raining, so we were all indoors.
I know the teachers were searching for hotspots on the Wi-Fi, and they found it, where I think where every single one of them is outside.
Mm-hmm. So there was just really a lot of great positivity happening. High school class officer elections have been happening. So we have now our officers selected for each of the grade levels, and currently planning for Homecoming Spirit Week has been underway. So we've got lots of great activities. The students know that we're doing things slightly differently. but they've really embraced it, and they've got some great activities that involve all of the high school grade levels as well as the community. So keeping some of our former traditions as well as kind of creating some new memories. They're really planning a great virtual pep rally that'll occur on that Friday, October 2nd. So looking forward to a great homecoming week. And lastly, for a strong school culture, again, just lots of positive energy and smiles by all the teachers, high school on down. It has really been just exciting to watch what's happening there. So we're into our 4th week of school, and it's going well, going strong. Should I finish up, Sandy? Okay, and lastly, our strong community connections. We want to welcome Ryan Ankerson. He's our community resource officer. He's been on the job, I think this is week 2, maybe week 3, and he's been getting out and about outside at recess in the lunch hours, walking all the halls, trying to meet and greet students as well as teachers. So warm welcome to Ryan as he's just been settling in and really making himself at home here in Random Lake and getting to know everyone.
Very good.
Are there any questions?
I just want to say, especially with the high school, with the US News, that's something that, and Amy, you might know, 5-6 years ago, I don't even know if the Random Lake High School was coming up on that, and that's just all a testament to what they're doing. 3rd right now, according to that, it's Kohler, Hoosburg, and then us in Sheboygan County. So pretty good company that we keep, and pretty cool stuff going on. So congratulations to the entire high school staff.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I'd just like to compliment the district for doing that, the high school, but just curious, the area, what is considered the area where we're ranking number 3?
So that would be Sheboygan County. So in Sheboygan County, statewide, it was 133rd. So out of, I don't know the numbers of statewide, so it's 133rd in the state, 3rd in the county, and then I'm not sure if they kind of break it down in similar ways. But, yeah.
Great.
That's great.
It's fun stuff. Those are the stuff we love, right?
Okay, board committee reports, buildings and grounds. I'm not sure who that is. Is that
That's
Chuck?
Well, I thought we decided Brian was the chair, but I'll.
No, that's me. That's me.
is Brian.
Whoever wants to talk.
We talked about the windmill, and we have a vote later on the agenda.
Okay. And budget? I think it's Brian.
Oh, we got that wrong. Hey Brian, you're budget committee. So what Chuck is actually, we got that wrong. So you get to do this one too. That's what you get for not having to be here.
Sorry, I was dealing with screaming kids when you were doing the budget stuff.
Does somebody else want to take it for Brian?
As you can hear, I'm in the background.
We just went over the 2019-2020 budget update. There is a tentative budget. It's still, way far away yet. We are going to discuss Fund 80 later, and I don't know what that word is.
Defeasance.
Defeasance.
Yes.
Something new we learned.
Yes.
So, which is cool. And that'll be down when we talk about Fund 80 as well. And then the committee of the whole, we just went over what's been happening with COVID this last month, and there will be some more on that in the agenda come up. I went ahead and took that one.
Okay, that's good. Good job.
All right, special education policy and procedure handbook. Anything new on that?
No, we really just stay with what the state gives us on that as far as special ed. So this is really just that we don't touch it, don't mess with it.
Okay.
We know the lawyers have it tweaked the best way possible, so why would we work with it? And it's just an operational thing we have to do every year.
Okay, is there a motion to approve? Jennifer, is there a second? Amy, any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The COVID update,
Okay.
that came up quick.
Yes, it did. So, You know, and I said to the staff, every week I try to send an email out on just an update. And I think the best way to say it right now, being face to face with kids in school right now, I said the overhead. There's no way I thought we would still be here. So I couldn't be more pleased with how our students have responded to this. I can tell you our staff, they're working hard, and we can look at a lot of different models, but I can tell you this model is asking a lot of our adults, and they're ringing the bell, and they're doing everything possible to get there. And our community and our kids are the benefactors of that. So I hope you've appreciated the Friday updates with our different positive cases, students out sick, what our staff attendance is. I think we've really tried to be as transparent with this as possible. And I can tell you, actually, there were community outside of this community, but other communities, rumors that we were close to closing down 2 weeks ago because of some of the numbers that we shared. And that couldn't have been farther from the truth. I think we were doing all the things possible, but by being transparent, it actually opens us up to those things, which I'm fine with. I'd rather everybody know where we're at, what our staff attendance, what our student attendance looks like. And this last week, I actually, we're gonna start talking about how many students, because we started off with staff attendance, student attendance. But now we're doing so well that if a student has to be quarantined, we're able to flip them into virtual learning so quick that they're actually considered still present. So now we're teasing, and that Kim is, teasing out that number so we can actually show these are the students out because of a close contact with a family member, all these other things. So long story short, couldn't be more pleased where we're at. And one of the things when we go back to August, there's some things that we said with our reentry plan. I didn't have you guys vote on it because I said it's fluid and it doesn't pay to vote on something that's always going to be changing. And that's one of the things, one of my recommendations for today. So looking at it, when we go back to August, we used all the survey data from our parents and everything else. And our parents at that time said, let wearing face masks be a family option. And right after that happened, Governor Evers had the order and we were forced to wear face masks. And I don't know how I felt about it at that time, but I can tell you now, today, knowing that we're still in person, it's my recommendation to put wearing face masks in our safety plan for an indefinite amount of time. And just to kind of explain this, I'm superstitious. Things are going good. You can go with the phrase, don't fix it if it's not broken. I can give you all kinds of those. We have kids in school, we have staff that are here, and overall we really like being here. Why mess with it? So what I'm looking for from this board is a blessing, because we're not going to vote on it, for going with face masks. This number 9, this COVID and reentry update will be something we will revisit every month. We can have discussions about it, but going forward after September 28th, until things look different, my recommendation is we add face mask mandatory and keep going with what we're doing. And we look at it in a month.
And that was kind of the consensus in the committee of the whole, that it's more important to the board to have students here
And teachers, yeah.
and teachers here than to, And again, we're not gonna go out and say for the next year, we're just gonna monitor it, so.
And
So we'll have an update every month.
Every month we'll talk about it, and Amy, I appreciate you, saying Kathy, I appreciate her. This is, if we can't have the adults here, we can't have the kids here. So, and we know, for as great as we did with our virtual learning, I can tell you we're much better when kids are here. And that's what we're gonna keep doing. That's what we've always put as our forefront, and that's what we keep going forward.
So, any other thoughts on that? Okay. Notification of co-curricular coaches and advisors. It looks like a lot of the same. It's nice to see the alum coming back to help out. That's always really nice. Anything we need to know about or new, just
No.
FYI?
I think the one I would like to say is, we have a new sport, esports. So this is the first year that we'll be paying for a coach. I remember how that works. For the last, is this your third year now, Lee?
This will be our third year.
So, again, this year, I think Lee said he has 23 students signed up for the high school. That's nearly 10% of our population.
Wow.
And some of these students that maybe wouldn't be in other sports. So I'm so giddy about this because we have all the other good sports, and here's another opportunity for kids to feel like they're part of the district. So now it's official after this.
Great. And then we have more notification on volunteers for co-curricular programs. Anything there? Those look similar that we've had in the past? Okay. And then we have the ESEA Consolidated Plan and Continued Participation in the Title Programs, which are the Title I Math and Reading, Title IIA, Title IIIA, Title IVA. Is there a motion to continue? Jennifer, is there a second? Chuck? Any questions or discussion? Anything you want to point out, Mike?
I'm just gonna say, when you talk about federal funds, here are federal funds. So, just another thing we have to do yearly. I think we have it laid out what each one of these funds kind of do in 3 or 4 sentences. Just kind of what we use our federal funds for.
Comment that these funds are a lot less than when Gina and I started in the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it is good to see that they're going up
Yes.
this year.
Yep.
When we had concerns with the impact of COVID, was that more for state funding versus federal funding, or was it both?
Well, there was a threat out there of pulling federal funding if you didn't go back to school and all that other stuff that was out there. But of course, every dollar is important dollars. But if you look at the total percentage of what these do compared to what we get from state and local taxes, it's not as helpful as they think they are. So I mean, it's beneficial. Never let a gift horse in the mouth, but it's excuse me. Most of the funding comes from state and local.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion?
Are our numbers up that we expected more dollars? Or do we know why we're in the plus column?
What's that?
Do we know why we're in the plus direction? It's supposed to
On
be
the Fed,
opposite.
that's Patty. Any idea what the federal why some of these numbers are up? Or where are most of these when we look at the Title 1, 2, 3, and 4?
We're getting more.
Yeah, that's been a while.
It's slowly going up, and it's based on, I think it's, the need, how many of the students qualify.
So free reduced lunch, some of those, yeah.
Okay. All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Then the 2020-21 budget. Tentative.
Budget. So good news, we have a budget that is balanced. There you go. Patty, you want to say anything else?
Good job, Patty.
That's what we pay her for. We're balanced. We're good. But I think just to kind of get us going, every year, the budget that you see now is very different than the budget you'll see at the end of the year. There's a lot of things. If we go back last year at this time, and then COVID hit, the way the budget looked at the end of the year compared to the beginning of the year, vastly different. So we do our best. I think Patty does a fantastic job. She's kind of the yin to my yang. She's the one that crosses every T and dots every I, and I just worry about big picture and things like that. So we talk about budget, it's balanced. Patty, anything you want to highlight over for next year's budget?
It's getting tighter because of declining enrollment. Our numbers are going down, so we're getting creative on how we're going to spend our time. That's what I would say.
I thought enrollment was going up, especially since many schools didn't decide to go in person 5 days a week. Do we have a higher enrollment this year?
Our membership went down. One of the things is we didn't get summer school. So usually we get somewhere 11 or 12 students for summer school. I think we got 2. So that was a drop. And then on top of that, we did graduate more seniors than we brought in for kindergarten. So our total membership was at 24. Is that what we?
I've got,
wasn't it 802 down to 7?
That's a 3-year average too.
Yeah. And we're just from last year to this year, I think it was about 24 down. 10 of those, 9 of those are because of summer school, so we're down about 15 students, which is about what our yearly trend is. We did see more students come in. We had more open, and we had more students come to us late, but I think this year was just kind of crazy. We had a lot more students than leave too, so it just kind of all, it actually hit the exact number we were projecting last year at this time. So I was hoping for better, but it's gets us to this budget here.
All right, and then that takes us into the Fund 80 levy.
So one of the things, and I'll start here, and then maybe the committee can chime in here. So we had a couple priorities for our budget as we built it for this next year. First of all, hold the taxes. We want to make sure right now we are below average in the state at our tax rate, and our number one goal is to be good patrons of the tax dollars. So what can we do to hold the tax rate, but then also do things that actually increase services? One of the things this board asked me to do last year was to investigate and look at a community resource officer. So that's something we were able to do. We are one of the few districts around that offer, instead of half-day 4K, we offer a full 4-day 4K. And we are, with our partnership with LTC, offering more and more college classes. Our CNA class actually was filled up with community members last spring, to the point that we had to ask for special permission to get our own students in because there's so many going. So there's a lot of good things happening there. And with where we're at right now, we're with declining enrollment, and because of the valuation in our entire community here, we're at a place that we can offer some of these things. We can add a community resource officer. We can even do these things called defeasance and hold the line on taxes. So what you see in front of you is a way that we're holding the line, keeping taxes where they're at, but also adding to an already pretty good program. So I guess I'd throw it to other members that were in the budget committee. What I miss in that?
By changing the way we're doing just some of the bookkeeping, we're gonna be able to pay down our debt sooner as well.
We're levying money outside of the revenue limit. Defeasance is a process, can I read you the definition?
Sure.
It's such a hard thing. It's a process by which a school district is able to eliminate debt by creating a collateral similar to an escrow account to pay off debt as bonds come due from the previous referendum. So the way that the referendum works, the revenue limit works, is I'm able to add money to pay off debt. Actually, right now the number I have in there is 900,000, and keep our tax levy the same. That this way we can take that and get rid of the debt going forward.
So if you're having somebody else there, how do we?
So what it really,
Hold
what
money.
the best way, I think the best illustration is the value of the homes keep going up. But because of declining enrollment, our budget, our like Fund 10, what we run school, is actually coming down. So what we have is this gap right here, that is the opportunity. So some of the opportunities, one of the reasons we could do a community resource is because they're funded here. It's a position that will be used in the community and also here. We have in here our community education program. That'll be the person doing it. That's what lives right here. So we keep taxes the same and offer these by using Fund 80 and by using defeasance. So it's I think last year when we went with Baird, this is working under the guidance of Baird, which is kind of the school finance company in the state of Wisconsin. When they started looking at it, they're like, well, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? by bringing the professionals in, we're finding other ways that other districts have frankly been doing for many years that we can now do and go from there. So,
And overall, when it's all said and done, it should be around a $17,000 savings is what we're projecting
on interest
on
rates, by
interest.
prepaying
prepaying that debt.
So I think what your question was where's that money coming from that we're using to pay down this referendum early? Is it that money in the middle that you're talking about?
Yeah.
We just, instead of using it for this, we're using it for that,
Right.
for the pay down.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we still need the same fund balance. So that's where I'm confused where the extra money is coming from. Cause we're still doing the Fund 80 stuff, and we're paying down early. So where does that money come from?
It's coming from the total tax. Because the whole, the levy is
Got it.
allowing us
We're
to do
getting
that.
more money.
Right, by
Totally
keeping
fine.
that, we're
Got it.
still staying, keeping our mill rate the same, keeping it the same, but we have these extra funds in it. We can get rid of that debt.
Has anybody been reassessed or revalued or whatever they do on a cyclical pattern in the county?
No, it's the entire county, we're projecting a 6% increase, so Sheboygan County, we're in a fortunate place where the value of all in this area, I think, actually, Ozaki and Sheboygan County we're right in the sweet spot, per se, so it's the value of.
I knew it had to come from
Is that
somewhere.
directly related to the strong housing market?
Especially in this area, there's, you can see Zillow and everything else, I don't know if anybody watches Zillow, but it's part of being in a good place right now, so that's part of it too. Yeah.
So what we need to vote on is we need to approve the Fund 80 levy. Generally, it's around a $43,000 amount that we've done, but by changing where some of these things fall in the budget, we now have to approve the estimated amount of $214,843 to increase that Fund 80. So is there a motion to do that?
Yes, I make that motion.
Chuck, is there a second?
I'll second.
Matt, any further discussion or questions?
So outside of the community resource officer, what funds are we adding to Fund 80 that weren't that number before? I see most of them are, the middle school athletics is the same.
Middle school athletics was always there,
And then the gym,
the community
fitness,
recreation
right.
program were kind of the two that were there before.
And then we added the part-time public relations.
Yep,
Right.
and that was there before too, that was funded through there. The three add-ons is increasing our half-day, full-day 4K.
But that was not this year.
Yeah, we actually did it last year at zero, it didn't,
For the bus money.
right.
Got it.
And then, the community education program, being able to increase the number of classes we offer there, and then, the community resource officer position.
What is the community recreation and community education? What are those programs?
It's the fitness.
It's the what?
The fitness.
the fitness center, and then the programs he was talking about like the CNA class that we offered to the community. Those LTC classes are part of
Yeah.
that.
So one of the things we did, because of our size, it's hard for us to offer LTC classes, because we can only get 3-4 students at any one class. So one of the things we did was, by offering these classes right after school, we're allowing the community to come in. So now if we get 5, 6, 7 community members with our 3-4 students, we have a full class, LTC can teach these classes, and now we're offering classes that we would historically haven't been able to. So we have, I think this last year, we certified 3 CNAs. So these are students that are leaving here with that kind of certification, and they don't pay anything for it. So just always trying to think creatively. Our size is our biggest bonus, but it's also one of the things that we need to kind of strategize around. That's one of the things that we've done to get around it.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
I have
Oh.
a question. What happens if we don't spend this? What happens to that money?
And we can't go over it.
Somebody else
This
does?
is over and above our Fund 10, so then that we can't add.
The tax base would, the tax rate would go down.
Okay.
It would be, I mean, that would be a piece there, and right now,
And these
we're,
programs wouldn't be
these
funded.
programs wouldn't be
They
funded.
just,
And the tax rate would go down, but right now, we're on low average tax rate right now, as it is with how we're running the system. You know, one of the things you have to remember, as a community, we're getting $10,000 per student is what students are. There's some districts that are $18,000 per student. So these are some ways that we can give our students those same things that other communities have, because they're getting almost twice as much as we do for students.
Maybe to help you out reading, when we do this in the annual meeting, this is its own number. The community votes on this package by itself. It's not part of our budget,
Oh,
unless they include that number.
okay, that's helpful.
But good questions. Very good.
okay, any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Alright,
Opposed? Motion carries. The wind turbine, there was some discussion in buildings and grounds on that tonight.
I could
Chuck, you take
care of
that?
Sure.
Okay.
So, since I might be the chair, so the district got essentially 4 different options for the wind turbine. I don't know how lengthy we want to get into this, but the most expensive one was to do a complete turbine refurbishing, installing it and recommissioning it. That would be $104,000. The payout on that over the long term is just phenomenal. It's pretty much, we weren't interested in that. Second option would be to replace the turbine with something a little smaller. It's called a Bergy 15 kilowatt turbine, which could be done for about $42,000. The payout on that would be smaller turbines. We get less revenue from the electric company. We're estimating $700 to $800 a month, maybe. So the payout on that would be 7 to 8 years. In conjunction with that, All Energy Management offered kind of like a lease program to go with the replacement of this 15 kilowatt, and essentially it'd be like a rent of or lease to own. The payout on that would be about 8 to 10 years. For those 8 to 10 years, the district itself would maybe get
$70 a month.
yeah, a really insignificant amount of money. It's a very long-term investment, and then we're just not sure how long that's going to last. And the final option would be, at no cost to us, a zero outlay for us, is to have All Energy basically take the system, take the tower down, take the turbine down. They would do it at a cost of $20,000, but they would not charge us because they could recondition or refurbish the turbine.
Yep.
As a committee, we talked about it, and I think we were of unanimous consent that the last option is the way to go. A zero cost. We can be done with the wind turbine. Not that it wasn't in its day had some great benefits, but we do have the ultimate source now, solar energy. I think you talked about earlier, we're getting $1,400 a month. Just the numbers make more sense to go forward with that and put an end to the wind turbine. It's not worth the investment in the long haul for the little bit of return we get.
And I think we had a better option when it first was put in. LTC had their program, and they had offered to help us with the maintenance and the overhaul and all that kind of stuff as their education. And so losing that program really changed our numbers. So where we should be in this position right now, 10 years later, was going to look very different had that program stayed in effect.
So we've had it 10 years?
I'm not sure I remember.
I think it's about 14, 15, somewhere in there, yeah.
And I know our payout, like refurbish and overhaul, at that time, we were talking 7 to 10 years for payout, and then, maybe we'd have a couple years of income on it before we had to do something.
Right. So I'll take that as a motion, Chuck, to remove it at no
Correct.
cost to us?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second? Matt? Any further questions or discussion on having it removed, and we're basically just letting them take the parts and do
They're
whatever they want?
recycling it, yeah.
We're done with it.
Yep.
Correct.
We'll
I
have
think you indicated what we'll have left is a fence and a
and a concrete pad,
Concrete
I
pad.
think would probably be what's left.
We can have bonfires back there again.
There you go.
What was the life expectancy supposed to be?
I thought it was about 10 to 12 years is
Oh,
what it, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was basically enough to pay it off and, you know, have a little bit of a return, not,
And there was a large grant that fed into that, right?
Right.
So it
Yeah,
wasn't a lot of
huge
tax
amount.
dollars that went
No.
into it. It was,
What did we put 60,000 into a $400,000 project?
Yeah.
It was a very good return.
yeah.
As
I
long
mean,
as
it
we made our
served its
7 months.
purpose and, you know, we came out okay, but, like Chuck is saying that if we try to reinvest and we're not gonna come out as good as we did going in. Anything else? All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. When is this supposed to come down?
he had said end of October, November, they would try to get here, something like that. So it could be sooner. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
So,
We have notification of new staff. We have hourly staff and salaried staff. I'm assuming none of these are from before.
Right.
They're all
they're all new. Yep, yep.
Okay, any questions on that? I have a question on our IT tech assistant.
Yep.
Name?
Smaje.
Smaje.
Yep. He's actually, we have this really cool partnership. So one of the things we try to do with our students is get them out into the real world, you know, part of co-ops, Inspire, all that other stuff we're doing. Smaje is actually at Lakeland, and he wants to be an IT professional, so we work with Lakeland to do a co-op here. So he works with Lee. It's a really inexpensive way to get another person that has some experience. Last year we did it, and actually we now have another student that's working with Jim DeBrew because he wants to be an activities director. So a really cool way to use young minds to get them into school. So it's been a really nice ad.
Okay.
Are these all additional or are these for existing positions?
These
that
were
just being filled?
existing, yeah.
Okay.
And I do want to add, and this is like a huge celebration under salaried staff with Joshua. When we hired Joshua, now we have our full complement of bus drivers.
Woohoo!
So if you haven't heard any issues on busing, that's exactly the way we want to keep it for the next 9 months.
And you
So
haven't had to leave your office for a bus route?
I'm the van driver right now. So, because we'll talk about my CDL experience later. But so I get to drive the van and doing some things. But honestly, I couldn't be happier with what we're doing right now. We have a great group of drivers. Rachel's been doing a fantastic job. I haven't heard anything in the last 2 weeks. So let's hopefully stay that way.
Good news.
I have a question for you for the Lakeland relationship, and I don't know if this is needed. Is there an opportunity if a teacher wanted like a assistant or extra hands in the classroom? I know with the virtual, and maybe it depends on grade level too, but I heard one teacher in particular say it's just really hard to keep up with both. So is there an opportunity for someone to get some classroom experience and be able to help our teachers if a teacher feels that need?
I know and I don't have the hard numbers, this is just qualitative. We have more student teachers in the building than I remember at any other time, and that was one way we did that. I know a lot of teachers thought, hey, this would be a great way to teach that next generation of teachers. There is some possibility with that, but I think we probably have close to 5 student teachers. Could we have an assistant in every classroom? That would be fantastic. But we haven't had the teaching co-ops. I know Sheboygan Area School District takes a lot of Lakelands, so I'm not sure how many more are out there. But if anybody wants experience and we do a background check and do that volunteer stuff, we'd have to be cautious because of the whole COVID stuff. But yeah, if we can find somebody that can help our kids, we're always looking for it.
I know Higgins was talking to her education advisor, and she mentioned that she was from Random Lake, and she got all bubbly. She said, Random Lake is my best placement. I think she has 5 right now. So the ones we have here may all be from Concordia.
Yep.
Yeah, this is Sandy, sorry. Just to add quickly, we probably have more Concordia student teachers than Lakeland, because like Mike said, Sheboygan area school district gets a lot of the Lakeland students. But we love our student teachers.
Okay, the planned fundraising activities for 2021. We have a list.
Should be a list there. As you can see, fundraising is a little different in the new time, and I know we're pulling things out like fundraising pots and pans and other things. I know elementary has a cool one out there. I know there's a lot of good ones, but it's everyone's being very creative in these new times.
Great. Anyone have any questions on those? All right, informational items.
Okay, so I just want to make sure, invite everyone to the annual meeting. Kim, it's October, do you have the date? I had it down to look at the date and I didn't put it on here. So,
Monday.
is it the last Monday of October? October 26th, so please come. We will talk about our budgets and all that other good stuff.
6:15 is budget hearing,
6:15,
6:30 meeting.
6:30 is meeting.
No, the 19th. No, I thought we switched them. It's either the 19th or 26th.
Well, we got a couple weeks.
We'll make sure, we'll get it out there, so. And remember, we changed it, so this way, we will know all of our numbers. Up until this year, it's always been a guess. This year, we will actually have our valuation, all those things that we used to wait for, we will have. So I feel good about being able to give you even more concrete than we have in the past.
Okay.
So, solar now update, I did that earlier. We're starting to see the monthly income come from that, so that's fantastic. I did want to say with one of the things that I've been really pleased about, with having our own busing, we didn't have as much pushback about loading students at the end of the day in the back of the school. It's cleaned up the front. It's done all kinds of things for safety. It allows us to have students enter the buses in cohorts and in small groups. And one of the things I went to the state and said, hey, can we do something on 144 because we have buses coming out there at 3:15 and it's 55 miles an hour. And the guy said to me, he's like, yeah, you know what, there are a lot of people request, but on a state road you can't really get that changed. Well, found out last week or the week before that they're actually going to reduce it. So it's going to be reduced to 45 miles per hour when students are present. I'm sure not everyone is going to be happy about that, but I think just for safety reasons, just trying to find different ways. You can see Mike and the crew did a nice job of clearing that out. There was a little bit of a blind spot, so just trying to do some things. I think it looks cleaner over there, looks nicer, and it's safer. So always trying to keep that saw blade sharp. And then the last one, some sad news. Mr. Chuck Donath has been a donor for our students for 6 or 7 years, and he passed.
Donor.
Yeah, significant multi-year donor, and he passed away last week. So our deepest regards to Bonnie, his significant other, and his entire family. So just wanted to put it publicly how much Chuck did for a lot of our students. He was always a fun guy to talk to every spring, and we'll miss him.
Were they like private or anonymous? Like how he was helping the students, or was that
Scholarship.
The scholarship, it was a scholarship, yeah. So.
Okay.
So, well, okay. Any questions for Mike on any of those topics? All right, is there a motion to adjourn? Jennifer, is there a second? Chuck?
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone, for coming out.
Even our board meetings are starting to get back to normal.
Yeah,
Hey!
look at that.
Quickest one we've had since we've been.
This is the way it's supposed to be.